Amias Shipley?
Amias.
Amias Shipley will be first, Dianne Hardy, and then Zach Shekner.
Nobody gets my name right the first try. This is a poem I also had an idea for last time around at Helicon West. It reminded me of some events from my childhood when Brock DeShare was reading. And I decided to write about it, and then I decided to read it here, and that's where we are now. It's called Brother. Brother, do I love you? Do I love your force, your anger, your screaming, your hatred, your aggression? Do I love your outbursts, tremors at first, then an explosion on a hair trigger, with aftershocks that register on the Richter scale, and do as much damage as pounds of C4 taped to the engine of the car? Do I love the urge to confront you, to prove you wrong about our parents, to put you back in your place, to hurt you like you have hurt me, to keep you from hurting anyone else? Do I love the anger I feel when I am told to hold my tongue, when I am told it's not my place, when I am told to leave the room? Do I love the weakness I feel when I realize it would do no good to fight you, when I realize you would hit me back, when I realize I would lose? No, brother, I do not love you. Brother, do I hate you? Do I hate your enthusiasm, your energy, your activity, your humor, your happiness? Do I hate your stories, weaving worlds unknown to anyone else, letting others see through your figurative glasses, pulling us in and showing us your true spirit? Do I hate your ideas, your characters in fantastical lands, your corrupted systems of government, your intricately tiered religions, your heart spilled onto paper? Do I hate your insight, your thoughts on human essence, energy flowing throughout the universe, the explanation of the gods you have seen, the death of your second soul? No, brother, I do not hate you. Brother, would I miss you? Would I miss you if you had never come back, when you went to the mental hospital, when you went to rehabilitation, when you went back to the mental hospital, when you went back to rehabilitation, when you went on medication and weren't really there at all? Would I miss you if you had gone through with it, when you wanted to try at home, when you wanted to try at the hospital, when you wanted to try in jail, when you did try at home? Would I miss you if you had decided not to go to the hospital, if you had decided not to drink the charcoal shake, if you had decided it really wasn't worth it, if your girlfriend hadn't talked you out of it? Brother, I don't know if I would miss you. Why, brother, did I feel so betrayed? Why did I feel betrayed when my mom told me you were in the hospital, when I tore off my Sunday shoes and cursed that hated skirt and sprinted home with tears streaming down my face? Why did my body bounce so much? Why did the asphalt sting my bare feet? Why, God, why couldn't I move faster? Why did I burst into the hospital room and yell, "How dare you? How dare you try to take yourself away?" when I've never been sure I wanted you to stay?
I have a little poem that can you hear me? I don't know. I have a little poem that I wrote when I took STARS class a year ago. And then I have a little excerpt from my memoir that I wrote called For Crying Out Loud. Valentine stuff. This is called First Love. I tremor in jumble of pink percale petticoat. Black curly locks skim these quaky shoulders. Wet sparks my forehead and sails down my neck. Where do I? What do I? What if I can't? He breezes in, a tall saddle Oxford, with a dimpled donut smile, hands that grin, pass milk, collect cartons. We spread out blankets of sunshine, his touch is mine. Then, as tigers chase and turn into butter, he glazes my cheek with a kiss, drops jelly beans onto my heart. So this is kindergarten. Okay. This is from a chapter called School at Last, so it's when I was 5 or 6, maybe just turned 6. That first day was so exciting. My mother was the teacher, my father was the principal. That first day was so exciting. Mama took us on a tour of the school, showing us where the bathroom was, the gymnasium, and the other first grade class. We climbed the stairs to the second floor and looked around. Just as Mama pointed out the principal's office, Daddy walked by. Without thinking, I blurted in a loud voice, "Hi, Daddy!" Kids in my class crowded around. "That's your father? You're the principal's daughter? Wow, that's cool." I basked in the warmth of my notoriety. I love school. This is going to be fun. When the first day was over, Mama and I put the classroom in order. She let me erase the blackboards and bang the erasers on the post outside until they were clean. As we walked home, she said, "Diane, I want you to play with children in the top reading group." "Why, Mama?" "Because you're already reading. I know you like to play around the neighborhood with Matt, and that's fine for home, but at school you have more choices." Bubbles, my dog, was waiting for me, so I thought nothing more about the rule that day. But as I said the Pledge of Allegiance the next morning, I worried about who I could play with at recess. I was the only one reading in my class, and I didn't know who top reading group kids were in the other first grade class. When I approached girls and asked them which reading group they were in, they didn't seem to understand what I was talking about. Finally, I asked Mama how I should know the reading group of kids in Mrs. Gardner's class. And she told me not to worry about it, to just play with the top readers in my own class. "But I'm the only one who knows how to read, Mama." She said Connie and Dana would definitely be in my reading group so I could play with them. Soon there were several. Matt was not one, but I didn't care, because I loved him. He had wavy dark hair and large brown eyes. Each morning as he entered the room and took his seat, he gave me a big smile that showed his dimples. Matt drew pictures all the time, kids riding horses, sliding down haystacks, and blowing out birthday candles. One day he drew a picture of me and him holding hands, and when he showed it to me, I knew he loved me too. One day I was lying down on the seat of my desk with my head hanging out one side and my legs on the other. As Matt walked past my desk, he leaned down and kissed me on the forehead. That afternoon I got the courage to tell Mama that Matt was my boyfriend. She didn't say anything, but later I heard her whisper what I'd said to Daddy. Daddy laughed. "I hope the situation isn't permanent," he said. "At they idke is a upidste." That night in bed, I lay awake thinking over and over about "at they idke is a upidste." I nearly gave up on its meaning when suddenly I realized Daddy said, "That kid is stupid." There is always an A sound on the end, and you just put the beginning of the word at the end with the A sound, and then start with the word minus that first letter. I tried it out. Daddy is Addy Day, I am Day, Mama is Amame, and so on. I couldn't wait for morning. As soon as I dressed, I went to get some cereal for breakfast. Mama and Daddy were sitting at the kitchen table. "Good morning, Diane," Daddy said. I didn't even look at him, just replied, "Udge orime." He choked on his Wheaties, and Mama stared at me, wide-eyed. "I didn't know you knew Pig Latin," she gasped. "Who taught you?" "Nobody. I taught myself."
So most of my poems end up being pretty short, so I got a couple pretty short ones here. First one's Odysseus' Cry. Scylla and Charybdis sit at the bottom of my heart, eating me from within. From them there is no escape, no path between them, no sacrificial sailor to toss and then run, no path around, over, by. Just meaty old me, an endless supply upon which to grate serrated turbine teeth, a steely circular disposal where wrought fingers, marbles, and metal stall, sticking, bending, but not breaking these rusty blades. I dare not reach him further, lest the rest of me slips, and then I fall. And these next two are very short. sort of born out of reflections on just how ephemeral and fragile relationships are. That kind of comes across in the language. So this first one's called Mirage. Just a shimmer of similarity, one that faded quickly, but reminded me nonetheless of distant days spent with a girl I didn't love well. Didn't love? Well, now I can't remember. This one is sugary sweet, but not full feeling. So play on fulfilling. Someone to enjoy something short and superficial with. A floating frosting or the top decoration, with no cake beneath. Least of all, the wedding variation. One light and free from any obligation of extended stay or long duration. Life's not long as it is. It's short, and it fills it out quick as a match. And this last one I'm going to read is, I was moving out here from Ohio, and I drove by, I was on the 80, and there's this giant Abraham Lincoln memorial, which I've been by a few times when I was a little kid, but then I don't know, I was just struck by it. So sort of thinking about how we look at our icons. So this is Lincoln Highway Memorial. I want my name to be on a multiple choice test, wholly higher than all the rest. 15 minutes, hours, days, years, enough time to conquer every fear of the billions who live to disappear without their names written down, those who face eternity's long and glaring frown. I want a name. I want a town. I want a monument, a metal crown, so that my stone face might forever look down. The eyes of a mortal man, immortal stone, made into one immortal throne that moth and rust will ne'er wear down. And I'll wear time and space as a shining gown. And though ages pass and my body dies, there'll always be a semblance of my eyes that will see through books to guide the young student of my life to see quite clearly that the answer is D. D for death, D for the destruction that I and so few others have avoided. I want to live on, a concept.
Does anyone else want to sign up? The sign up sheet is here. Just ring for a few more. Does anybody else wants to do it? Just come over. Okay, the next readers will be Luke Lemmon, followed by Ronald Jensen, then Shannon Branfield.
In honor of Valentine's Day, or Singles Awareness Day for the rest of us, I have two love poems to read. The first one is called Along the River. And should we meet along the river, and should we meet with an embrace, and should we meet after all these years, and should I there see your face, I swear I'll never leave you, I swear I'll give you my pledge, I swear I'll love you forevermore if we should meet at the water's edge. And the second one is called A Love Poem. Love poems? Ha! I laugh at the thought. What need have I to write of that? No thoughts to spare on the concept of love, no time to give to ponder the heart. Love poems? Ha! What could I add to the thousands that have been written? Only small lines compared to the greats. Repeated words and recycled thoughts. Love poems? Ha! I wouldn't know where to start. For my love is not one for display. I cannot show it, why should I bear it? Record for what purpose of love so covert? Love poems? Ha! I scoff at the idea. Love is in the heart, not on the parchment. Words cannot express what the mind can scarcely comprehend. I cannot explain love in any common tongue. Love poems? Ha! How could they show my love? I love you more than I bear to say, but if I tell you this, then all is cast his way. So this shall suffice, a love poem of sorts. Hi.
Hi, Ron.
Oh, don't count.
Jeanette, you're a great part of the team Hillcrest. You did your part along with the rest. And joy going with you to the Deco Life Center. While you were there, we bring you adventure. Now you're gone. Now miss you so. Worked hard every day to help the children grow. You don't come happy Valentine's Day. I thought I knew what love was when you started going out. I thought I knew back then what love was all about. Since I've been married, we're no longer alone. We've got no love, no future for unknown. No special one. I'm glad that we met. We got some good times I'll never forget. It means a lot to me in so many ways. So I was wishing you happy Valentine's Day. Thank you.
Enticed, children race up and down, exploring the tangled branches, chasing each other, raised voices echoing in the shadows. They hang a tire swing, spin until they're dizzy, trying to perfectly time the moment when flight twists into sickness and nausea, tight chest struggling for breath and ground. Heedless, supported by strong branches, young bodies clamber, grasping for more, oblivious. Hidden damage splits under pressure, hurtling the children down, their days together undone.
Last chance, going once, going once. Something Hanson? Chloe Hanson, great. This isn't entirely your fault with the writing, it's my scene too, but okay, Chloe Hanson, and then Terysa Dyer.
I can go by something Hanson too, that's fine. Okay, my husband says I forget to breathe when I start reading my poems, so if I'm like gripping this, it's because I'm gonna fall over and pass out, it's fine. So the first, well, we'll see how many I make it through. These first couple are ones that I just wrote in the last couple weeks for one of my classes. And then this one I wrote today, so it's called On Seeing Your First Love at the Grocery Store 3 years Later. I see you, of course. We, the only two people between industrial freezers full of vegetables and pasta, can't be distracted by the now bigger bags, the new penne alla vodka, now with less fat. My greeting is a reflex, the same way I flinch before the pain flares from a burn. That is how I say hello, and wonder if we are people who say hello now, if we are people who only say hi. But what else seems appropriate? Thank you, or I'm sorry. I see you are buying potatoes. I do remember your love of vegetables. Was it you who brought pumpkin liquor from Idaho, paper bag puckered at the top like lips waiting to be hushed, your roommate still awake on the other side of the wall, your bed knocking against that wall louder than me? At the self-checkout, we stand opposite one another, jarring staccato beats mimicking, I am sure, your heartbeat, mine. Okay, and this one's called Resurrection. This is kind of newer as well. You, moth in a mason jar, memory held in a conservatory of bone. You knock on the inside of my skull. What a racket you make, echoing between ears, your lightest touch striking like a fist. But I can't keep you locked in me. You exist. I fear I'll find you ordering turkey sandwiches for 2, drinking a pint with a floating slice of orange. What a din you'll make inside me then, as you compare hair, face, manner of dress, to that version of you who must suffocate soon, my head screwed on too tight for breathing room. I've driven a pin through your abdomen, pressed you between mental layers of glass. Why can't I look at you like something already dead, with limited interest? Why must you act the part of Lazarus? Why must you rise miraculous? Okay. And then this poem is one for my thesis that I'm doing on kind of like ambivalent feelings about motherhood. I'm not a mom, but I don't know that I want to be one, so that's kind of where these poems come from. Thanks. So this poem's called Labor. What does it mean to be a mother? Are you full of fragments, your nose, your eyes, your hair repeated on a smaller scale, a human fractal? When my mother felt me move, did she sense delicate fingers grasping for her throbbing heart, each beat the blink of a startled eye, closing to avoid pain? They say we hear with bones as well as ears, like whales hear. Those inner echoes give us the sounds of our own voices. I wonder then, did my mother hear me stirring in her belly, the sound of the ocean in a shell? Or was she too full to echo, the spaces inside her made solid with me, baby coo stopped between belly and brain? And did she know then, love which set me going, fed on her, even then? Did she fear the wet, bald creature she called daughter, waiting to devour in one push, matricide in a moment? But I could have lingered like an unwelcome guest, afraid to knock. I stained her shaking thighs instead, slick oil of catechumens. On that night she first felt me move, rocking like a cradle. Did she fear something shuffled toward Bethlehem?
And then I just have one short poem, Star Sign, bring love poems, so I did. It's called 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor. So it's a love poem of sorts. A margarita should never come from a mix. Only triple sec, fresh limes, one slice to wet the rim before salting. Drunk test. Snap head back, Pez dispenser without the morbid candy, glimpsed ceiling, tonight's host once scrawled a message, left for the testers, you're drunk, but not always so easy. Sign of alcoholism, drinking at home, alone, anonymous there, foremost. Hold still, the pain can't follow each head turn, climbing, clawing down, back of skull, around those top parts of the brain, once a name, read in a Psych 1010 book, forgotten now at the bottom of a lucky shot glass, stuck to the counter till noon.